Yo, what's good? It's Trouble T Roy. Don't get hit boxing talk. Let me get comfortable real quick. So, I took another week off from boxing. So I had a lot of other things going on. I actually have a lot of things going on this week. Last week had Saturday, I didn't get to watch any of the fights. Last Saturday, I had a studio session, playing with a band, playing drums and everything, and then work. I was tired. I'm still tired. It's Tuesday morning now, or early morning. I'm doing this, and I have another week of a whole lot of music. Wednesday, performance with my sister and my brother doing some hip-hop shit, and then 2 days of some good rehearsal for a gig that we have, well, Thursday and Friday for a gig that we have Saturday night. So I'm staying busy with my music shit. So normally when I disappear, it's probably either because of that or work. So this is another time of me disappearing. But I just wanted to touch on something real quick when it comes back to boxing. Like I said, I didn't get to watch any of the fights. I watched some highlights, good stuff. Navarrete over Oscar Valdez. Yeah, that was I just saw the highlights. I didn't see the whole fight, so I can't speak on it too much, but that looked like it was a good joint. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this real quick. I don't want this thing to go off. And then, of course, Anthony Joshua over Helenius. Sounded like it was a good fight. Sounded like it probably went longer than it probably should have. But, I mean, hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm glad that Anthony Joshua got the knockout, because I think that's what he really needed. A knockout. I think he probably wanted to push the fight a little longer when he probably could have stopped it a little earlier. But I think he probably felt that he might have needed that. Maybe Derek James told him, just go ahead and just keep touching him. Don't end the fight yet, but get some rounds in. That's just my opinion, but at the same time, a lot of people are saying he could have ended it a lot earlier, so I'm not even going to push on that, because I didn't even see the highlights for that. I just heard about it. I saw a lot of tweets on Twitter as the fight was going on, so I'll go back and watch it when I get a chance. But, I mean, either way, good stuff. Anthony Joshua, congratulations to him, as well as, Navarrete. I think I'm saying his name right. So that's two good fights. And I'm not sure what else I missed over the weekend. I haven't had a chance to really get back and touch on those or look those fights up or whatever. So I'm going to have to go ahead and do that throughout the week when I get a chance, when I'm up and going. But, this is a quick little thing. I mean, not that I want to get back on the subject, but it seems to keep on coming up. This Spence and Crawford thing. Now you got people talking about Spence going up to 154 and beating Crawford. Well, not necessarily. I don't know if they really believe that shit, but at least possibly having a chance. And my only question to these guys that say, this one guy particularly, I ain't gonna say his name, but on Twitter, if you guys follow me, y'all probably could see the debates, because that's all it is to me. This man keeps on saying that Spence has a chance at 154. A chance. And all I'm asking him is, what makes him have a chance? You do understand that they're both going up to 154. Crawford isn't staying at 147, and then Spence is going up to 154. They're both going up to 154. So if the skill set is still the same, Crawford's power will probably get better along with Spence's. And I'm actually in the belief that Crawford's power will be better than Spence's, because the thing between the two is Crawford started at 135, and then he went to 140, and then he went to 147, and now he's going to 154. Spence stayed at 147 for too long, in my opinion. You remember when he first started his career, he was fighting above 147. He was basically a 154 pounder until he got into the rankings at 147 and then started to fight at 147 for that IBF. So what are we really talking about? This man has been draining himself a lot longer than Crawford has, and has been hurting his power a lot longer than Crawford has. Crawford's been going up while Spence has steadily been fighting at the same weight for years and years and probably draining himself and fucking up his power. So I just want to understand what's going to make a fight at 154 different between Crawford and Spence that wasn't at 147. What's going to be the difference? I keep asking, what's going to be the difference? He keeps saying, oh, well, he's just going to have a chance. He's going to have a chance. What is his chances? What's he going to do different? That's the man Spence has been fighting the same way his whole career. And it literally showed that it doesn't work against a man who moves, who's a great counterpuncher, who doesn't stay in the same place, who knows how to move his head and move. He has good footwork, you know what I'm saying? And has power. Growing power at that, because the man started at 135. You started at above 147 and came down. You was at amateur fighting at 152, I believe, if I'm correct. Okay, if you look at old videos of Crawford before he went pro, that man was a damn near stick, knocking people down and knocking people out, getting robbed and shit. You know what I'm saying? So what are we really talking about? That's all I'm trying to say. Some of these Spence fans still don't really understand. Like, it's more than just, you guys said it was going to be his size. You said Spence was too big. This was all the excuses that Crawford said y'all was going to have when Crawford beat Spence. Y'all said, well, when y'all said Spence was going to beat Crawford, y'all was going to say Spence was too big for Crawford. The body shots was going to, once Spence hits him to the body, that's going to be it. All these little excuses y'all had, and none of that shit worked. And now it's like, oh, well, Spence was drained. He wasn't, come on, man. Crawford admitted that it's not easy for him to make 147, and Crawford stays in shape year round. They said that Crawford don't go no more than 5 to 10 pounds over his weight limit when he stopped fighting. So it's easy for him to actually get down to 147. Meanwhile, we see Spence in the clubs and doing all this shit. Man got a beer belly and everything. He looking like me. You know what I'm saying? He looking like me. Nah, he ain't looking like me, but you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. So what are we talking about? Oh, so you telling me what, 47 to 54 is going to make that big of a difference all of a sudden, when this man has literally showed it wasn't just about the size. It wasn't just about size. It was about skill. You can't just teach skill in a couple of months. Ask most of these professional boxers out there. You just don't teach skill. Skill doesn't just all of a sudden just come up. It doesn't. Skill doesn't just be like, oh shit, damn. Oh yeah, you needed me for that fight. Okay, I'll be there for this next fight. I'll be there for the rematch. Not just like that. Not in a couple of months. Probably not even a year. What is Spence going to do so much better at 154 that he couldn't do at 147 when Spence was supposed to be like that dude at 147? He was supposed to be that guy, right? He was the guy. He was the big fish. It was strap season. It was man down, all that shit. When he really wasn't knocking nobody down. It wasn't no men down. That sounds weird just saying. But it wasn't no man down for how many fights? Meanwhile, Crawford coming up in weight, knocking everybody out at 147. Stopping them. What are we talking about? Crawford fighting backwards. Crawford fighting orthodox. Crawford fighting southpaw. Crawford is knocking people out. He's a finisher. He's finishing everybody at will. he's going up in weight. He's going from 135 to 140 to 147. And every time he goes up, he's looking better and stronger. Meanwhile, Spence is having trouble knocking out Mikey Garcia, which he didn't. Do you honestly think Crawford would have let Mikey Garcia stand in that ring on his 2 feet for 12 rounds? I'm just saying. There's a reason Pacquiao didn't want to fight Crawford for nothing less than, 30 mil? He wanted to fight, he said he'll fight Crawford for something around 30 mil, but he went to PBC to fight Broner and Thurman for way less. There's a reason Danny Garcia refused to fight him both at 140 and 147. They told him, why don't you go and fight the guys over where you're at? Leave us alone. There's a reason for that shit. We've been saying that shit. This shit ain't happened for nothing. And look where we at now. There's a reason. That's the reason. Because they knew Crawford was a problem. Motherfuckers out here is acting like, oh, this is a surprise. We've been saying this. Crawford has been a problem. We've been saying this for 5 years since Crawford came up to 147. Crawford is going to be a problem. I'm just saying. So, gotta stop with the BS. I mean, if y'all think that Spence, tell me. Y'all tell me in the comments or whatever. Tell them, come find me on Twitter or whatever. Trouble T Roy, y'all can find me. Come tell me what Spence gonna do different that's gonna make this big difference in the way that he's able to, defeat somebody like Crawford at 154 from 147. Tell me what he's going to do different from 147 to 154 that's going to just make all these big changes and this big difference. Tell me. Because me personally, I don't think the fight needs to happen. I don't think the rematch needs to happen. I think they should just go their separate ways. But I know Spence, Spence is a warrior. He's a dude. He has a lot of heart. And I believe, and he's very prideful. And I understand that, and he's probably going to try to make that rematch. But for what? What are you going to do different, bro? You keep saying your timing was off. I was having trouble making the weight 147. It's like, come on, man. You've been having trouble making weight. We've been seeing that. People been saying the same thing about you, just as they've been saying about Devin Haney. Y'all looking like skeletons on those making weight on those scales. So y'all been draining y'all, so that's why y'all power ain't there. That's why you not knocking nobody out. You making a weight you shouldn't be making. David Benavidez. I gotta bring him up. But come on, man. Just somebody tell me what is Spence really gotta do? What is he gonna do all of a sudden now by the end of the year? Because the rematch, I believe, it has to be made by December. It has to be at least scheduled by December. Spence needs at least another year off before he should even be in the ring again, because the beating he took was not nice. It's not one of those beatings it's not one of those fights, those defeats you just come back from just like, yeah, it is what it is. It's like looking at Oscar Valdez's face after that fight with Navarrete. You don't just come back from that. You don't just be like, yeah, I'll be back in like 3 to 6 months. No, you got to take a break. You got to decide what it is, how it is you want to move on with your career. That's not just I'll be back type of fight. That's maybe I need to reevaluate what I'm about to do next type of fight, because I took a beating. So, and then I don't know if this is just a rumor or what, but I heard that supposedly Earl Spence has been suspended he's on a medical suspension for the next, I don't know, 90 days because of the damage that he took during the fight. I don't know how true that is. I would like for really somebody to go ahead and confirm that for me, because I heard it in a couple of places. I didn't really look into it. Because it didn't seem like it was a big deal. Normally when things aren't really being mentioned by certain sources that I really trust, then I don't really, I don't put much weight on them. But if that is true, I would like for somebody to let me know about that. But I mean, regardless, even if it's no suspension, he needs to take at least a year off and figure out if he even wants to really fight. This is about health now. It's not about boxing. It's about health, your family. I'm sure he got a lot of money. I know he has been investing in a lot of other things outside of boxing, and including into boxing, into other fighters. I'm pretty sure he has his own promotional company from what I understand. So boxing is just boxing. You don't need it no more. You've done enough. You have been a unified champion. You have been an icon to a lot of people, including myself. I like Errol Spence a lot. I like watching him fight. I think he is a great fighter. I just think he just ran into this wall that is a wall that's not, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, let that one go, bro. It's sometimes you gotta take your L and just move on, because you did enough. It's mutual respect between the two, so just, y'all can work together. That would be some crazy shit. They get together and put together some kind of promotional thing, or put some fights together. His fighters versus his fighters, some type of shit. That shit would be crazy, right? That'd be dope. Hey, we put together. They made history with what they did. They sold over 600,000, which is at this day and point, this time in the day, that's actually good numbers. I think they said they sold over $20 million in tickets or some shit. That's crazy. They did their thing. Take that and build on it. That's all I could say. But Errol Spence, like I said, I know he's already invested his money in certain things. Terrence Crawford on the Sway in the Morning, or Sway show, said that he's been putting his money into shit since 2013. He said he been putting his money into shit, so he ain't even tripping off of money. They could both retire and do big things. So that's all I'm saying. But look, don't come in here and don't be getting on social media and talk about he has. If you have an answer, then tell me the answer. What is the answer to Errol Spence beating the chances of him beating? Don't just say he has a chance and not, because that's not boxing talk. That's just your personal feelings at that point. If you don't even, it's basically telling me you don't know boxing. You just hope he has a chance. If you can't give me okay, well, he could work the jab this way, he could work a power jab, maybe add a power jab into that, into his repertoire, and, whatever. And then maybe that, that a right hook, a right check hook into it when he throw, like something. Give me something. Don't just say he has a chance and you ain't even got no answer for it, because that just sounds like you just being lazy. You're just hoping at that point. And you got to stop doing that, because this is boxing. Don't be a fanboy. Just be a fan of the sport. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. It's Trouble T. Roy. Don't get hit boxing talk. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'm out. Peace.